Hello, I'm Adam, the learning coach at abetterpianoteacher.com. I was watching a video with the great Barry Harris, famous jazz musician and educator, and he was talking about how he knew what the changes were to a Chopin song, a Chopin piece, and how the other piano players in the room did not know the changes, and how he thought it was incredibly useful to know the changes, and how once he shared the changes with another piano player, she finally understood the song for the first time. I was thinking to myself, how many classical players don't know what the changes are and don't know what use they are? So I want to talk about that in this video. Now I have up here Chopin's Etude in E major, Opus 10, number 3, and I'm just going to play a little of it for you here. Now, if you use classical music theory to describe this music, classical music theory tends to be all about the function of something. It's really designed for people who want to explain how the music works, why it works in some kind of number system. So you start with a 1 chord, move to a 5-7 chord, another 5-7 chord, back to the 1 chord. 5-7 chord, 1 chord, 2-5, 2-5, 2-5, 2-5, 1. And that's fine. You use Roman numerals and you get a sense of, if you know something about music theory, you get a sense of what the 5 chord is and what the 1 chord is and all that. But if you use jazz changes to explain this instead, it can be very useful. Here's the Chopin Etude described using jazz chord changes instead of classical theory numbers. E, B7, B7 13 to E suspended to B7 9, E, and then that's F sharp minor 7 to B7, F sharp minor to B7. Now, what I like about the jazz changes is that they don't force you to think about function. And if you want to think about function, the classical is there. But if you don't want to think about function and you just want to know what are the chords in this thing, how does it move around, the chords are really lovely. And the nicest thing about it is if you want to explain it to someone else without playing it, you can paraphrase this. You can just say it goes from E to B7, B7 13 to E. There's a suspension. Then there's a 9 chord. See, I can use these jazz chords: 9 chord, 13 chord, suspension, all of these jazz terms, and then I can play something that sounds like it, and so I can talk about it while I'm playing it. In the case of something even more crazy and complicated like this passage here, well, that's really hard to explain in classical music theory. If you use the Roman numerals, you'll go crazy trying to explain the functionality of that passage. All it really is a series of diminished chords going down. And because diminished chords repeat themselves every 3 iterations, B diminished, B flat diminished, A diminished, B diminished, B flat diminished, A diminished, simply describing it as descending diminished chords and listing the 3 chords, it makes it an awful lot clearer, an awful lot faster. If you don't know how to write jazz changes, or you can even call them rock changes, they're just changes, and you want to know, leave me a comment below. Ask me for help. I'd be happy to make more videos about changes in general if it's something you're interested in. I'm Adam, and I'm always trying to be a better piano teacher.